Hello there. Welcome to NCBA Money Mastery Series, powered by Centonomy. And of course, we welcome you to the bank that says go for it. Today, of course, we'll be talking about youth and money. And here we're about to teach you on matters relating to money. We're here to make you understand the concept about money and how you can make money work for you. My name is Phillip Omondi, and I'll be your host for today. And because at NCBA, money matters, numbers that matter to you matter to us, here are some facts that matter when it comes to youth and money. Set aside money for your savings or retirement fund. Diligently identify potential investment opportunities. Invest your way to success. Africa is the youngest continent. Approximately 75% of the population in Africa is 35 years and below. This implies that Africa's sectors rely heavily on welfare and well-being of the youth. When the youth spend their money, save their money, or decide to invest, there is a significant impact on the continent and subsequently the country's economy. So let's talk about youth and money today. My guest today is Thotho, Programs and Content Manager at Centonomy. Karibu sana, Michael.
Asante sana, Philip. Glad to be here, excited to be here, and of course I feel a bit privileged. Thanks sana for having me. Yes, we're about to have a fire conversation about youth and money. Looking forward to it.
I can actually feel the excitement. Yeah. Is it because we're talking about money today or what?
Yes, money excites I think everyone, and also I being youth, yes. So yeah, definitely money excites me, excites almost everyone, and then also being a youthful conversation. Yeah, that's why I'm jumpy like this.
Okay, yeah. Interesting. So there's a bit about literacy when it comes to the context or the concept about youth and money. Just talk to us a bit about that.
Yeah. Now, I think it's not just about the youth. When it comes to financial literacy, I think it cuts across board, and the reason, or one of the reasons, is this conversation about money is not formalized, right? And when I talk about formalized, I mean we don't talk about it in school. It's not in the curriculum. Like there was no subject called money, my personal money. Yeah, there was commerce or business or some, but nothing about you and your personal money. And then also, unfortunately, again at home, we don't really talk about money in a sense that we'll teach, especially someone young, about money. I remember one of the conversations we had about money were scarce, were little, and we were told, money is not there to be played with. Money doesn't grow on trees, all these things. Yeah, so that brings about what we call financial illiteracy. Yes, but good thing is, as Centonomy, we are here to, just demystify things about money, talk about money, and, educate people about money. And it's across board from older guys and guys watching at home, the youth.
So the older adage of money doesn't grow on trees.
Yeah, money doesn't grow on trees. But, they ask if money doesn't grow on trees, then why do banks have branches? But anyway, yeah, so we're just here today to demystify all that.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Of course, if you're with me on this, when you're talking about money, of course, there's an aspect of value that you have to attach to it, right?
Yes.
So how do I place, or how can I determine my value as a person?
Okay.
I mean, speak to our audience today about that.
Now, it's an interesting concept you brought up. We cannot talk about money and not talk about value. Again, I said in school, the curriculum was not all that geared towards our personal money. Like in my class, we were taught money is it helps you to buy goods and services. It's a means of exchange. Legal tender. It's even written there, legal tender. But when it comes to me and my money personally, I should know, or you guys should know, that money, other than being a legal tender means for exchange of goods and services, is most importantly a store of value and a representation of value. Okay? So money is equals to value. Okay? Or I should say, value is equals to money. So money is equals to value, or value is equals to money. Crisscross, right?
Sure.
So, and with that, we can even come up with an equation. If value is equals to money, what do I do to get more money? Because at the end of the day, we all want more money. So what you can do, if we want more money, what we do is, on the other side of the equation, add more value. So more value, more money. Right? Now, Philip, I know I can read your mind, and I can see you wanting to ask me, what is value?
Certainly, because
So
interestingly,
yeah.
if I'm in university, say for example, and my parents are supporting me throughout that journey,
Yeah.
interestingly, the first thing that comes to mind is the value of money that I own is probably what my parents own.
Yeah, and the thing is, your parents are investing in you. So
Okay.
they are seeing value in that. So
Okay.
that's why they are investing in the education, and that's why they are facilitating for you to go there. You need transport, you need to buy a laptop, you need to buy data, you know, all these things. You need to eat. So that's why you'll have an allowance or pocket money, right? Because they know there's value in this. And then they know, my kid, alipata A. So lazima pia ni, there's value in that. Yeah, so there's that exchange. Yes, of money and value. So we cannot talk about money and not talk about value.
Okay.
Yes. So simply put, value is what people pay for. Is what will make you pick one thing over the other. Right? The same happens at the workplace. The more valuable you are, the more money you're paid.
Yeah, sure.
Same in business, in the marketplace, the more valuable this cup is, the more someone will pay for it. You see, it has all these logos, it looks nice. The more, just compare this cup to just a kawaida cup that's black. See, I'll probably go for this because it looks better, you know, it has more value. So I'll pay more for this. So that's just value. And again, money is equals to value. Value is equals to money. So more value, more money. So wherever you are, guys, make sure you are adding value, you are of value, and you'll be good to it. Now, probably you're asking, now, I'm at the workplace. How am I adding value? Again, it is the skills that you have. It is the time that you're putting in, the effort, you know, your experience, your qualifications. You see all those things I'm counting? Value.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Obviously, we are all fearfully and wonderfully made, and I know that's one thing that our audience would really connect to. And interestingly, when you talked about value and money and the way one can really relate to the parents putting money into school fees and, of course, upkeep in college. And interestingly, I was having a conversation with a priest just the other day, and I remember he said he has a nephew who just graduated from an engineering, with an engineering course, a degree, for example, engineering degree. And interestingly, he had 2 employers who are actually trying to outbid one another.
Wow.
So this employer today is quoting 100,000. The other employer quotes
that's a good place to
150.
be. That's a good place to be at.
It is, yeah.
Why? Because again, this nephew of the priest is valuable. Right? Probably when they were in school, they did, they were in a club. So they got to learn some leadership skills. They got to learn some communication skills. Sure. Probably they've done some attachment or internship here and there. So they already have some experience. So, and probably their grades were also up the roof. So they are more valuable. So that's why you'll actually have employers fighting for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now that we are talking about value, sometimes you realize that as a youth, I tend not to know where my money goes to. I'm salaried, money comes in, but I can't really get to know where my money goes to. How do I, as a youth, sort of like be able to track that?
Interesting you said the word track, because I was going to start by saying you need to track your expenses.
Sure.
So, but before you track your expenses, we've talked about value, and value is, essentially how you're going to be making your money by providing value, by being of value, and how you make your money, or when money is coming in, we call that income. Now, let me be a bit open and say, as finance guys, and you'll attest to this, we are a bit not creative, so we use words as they are. So income is money coming in, right? Yes. So
it can be from salary or even business.
So money coming in, either from salary if you're employed, if you're in business, or again if you're still in uni or college and you're getting an allowance or pocket money. So that's money coming in. So we know that, right? I get an allowance of 1,000 shillings every morning from my dad, right? Or my employer pays me 70,000 every month. So you see, I know the income that I am making. Now, we now need to go a step further and know what my expenses are, my money going out. That's the expenses, right? And one thing for sure to know is we start by tracking them. So for instance, if you haven't tracked, but I can see you're a smart guy, I know you know your expenses. Now, here's where guys need to start. Yeah? You need to track your expenses. So, and again, when I say track, I want you to be intentional about it and actually write them down, okay? Pen and notebook works well. If you're technologically advanced, an Excel sheet. Again, us being youth, mobile apps, right? So just use that and you'll be able to be tracking down every time your money leaves your pocket, your mobile wallet, your bank account, track it down, know where it has gone. So today morning I have spent 100 shillings on transport, and if possible, just note down the time so that you're able to actually track. So in the mornings I spend this, lunch this, you know, on my way home I buy maize or a smoky at the stage. So it's tracked. So you know this is what I spend. Now, why I'm talking about these things on a daily basis is because we tend to know the big ticket numbers, like rent. I know my rent. Is landlord ameniambia. You know, I pay 50,000, so that's my rent. So, but the things that we are not really defined is where money actually sips without us going. Okay. So because rent is defined, school fees is defined, you see, we'll have that in track. But these things that are not defined is what now we need to track, right? So yes, just start tracking all your expenses and you'll be good to go.
All right. Interestingly, to our viewers, Michael has mentioned there are a couple of mobile apps that you can use to track your expenses. We have an exciting product called Loop, a Loop app that allows you to save, allows you to transact, and you can actually track your expenses while at it. And actually gives you an option to invest. Michael, I have all that in place. I have the records, I have the app, everything. I'll track my expenses. But at the end of the month, I still find myself broke.
Okay.
You know?
Now, that's a very peculiar thing, because if you do all these things, then you should find yourself in a positive place financially. But probably here is where, or this is why you're getting yourself feeling like, I don't have money at the end of the month. There is more month at the end of the money, right? The thing is, probably you are living beyond your means, above your means. So that means that your expenses are more than your income. And the rule of thumb is always that your income should be more than your expenses all the time. If you don't do that, hey, my guy, you're in a negative, a red place, and you don't want that. So always make sure that your income is more than your expenses. So the money coming in is more than the money going out, right? And here's an analogy I can use. Like you see a rabbit or a hare. You see they're quick on their feet, fast, yeah? So that should be your money coming in. And then on the other hand, we have a tortoise, a bit slow. That should be your money going out.
They call it tortoise.
Now, it depends with the school you went to. I'm only in a group of schools. Yeah.
Okay. Interestingly, I have my money, I'm tracking my expenses, and in the process, am I allowed to enjoy it while at it?
Definitely. The English say all work but no play makes Jack a dull boy. So it is good to enjoy, but of course, enjoyment, just like everything else in life, should be done in moderation.
Moderation?
Okay? Yes, that's the key of everything in life. So here's the thing. You see, we know my rent is X amount, my food is X amount, my transport is X amount. See, also hapo kwa expenses weke enjoyment yako. Enjoyment is 2,000 a month. So if you've been paid today and by the evening you spend 2,000 on enjoyment, then you know my enjoyment is done for the month. But if you know my budget for enjoyment is 2,000, you will stretch it 500 every week, and then you will have spent your 2,000 for the month. That's the thing. Enjoyment is not bad, but plan for it, guys. Yes, have it in your hapo kwa budget. Note it down so that yes.
But I thought even if I stretch it with even 200 shillings, see, I'm like I'm living one. I'm getting to live. They say you only live once. Yeah.
I know we live every day, my guy. You don't just live once. We live every day. So again, that's what I'm saying. If you've gotten your 2,000 and it's that's your budget for sherehe, then you won't have sherehe, the other day. So again, just stretch it. 500, 500, 500. The month is done and you've done your.
But in the process, I track it.
Yes.
That's the most
again,
basic thing.
Number one thing, track your expenses, note it down, have it in your budget, have it in your plan.
Okay.
Yes.
I've just gotten employed and I don't know what to do. It's my first salary. Where do I start?
Now, congratulations on your employment.
Thank you.
Now, here's the thing. Whether you're employed or whether you're in business or whether you're in campus, the first thing that we should always do, other than tracking, next thing we should do is think about yourself always. And Phillip, please be selfish. Guys at home, again, be selfish. And here's the thing, ujipende, be selfish, and pay yourself first. All right? Pay yourself first. So every time money hits your account, your mobile wallet, you're given cash by your folks or by your guardian, the first thing you need to do is pay yourself first by saving and investing. And then you spend what is left after saving and or investing. Now, the mistake that we do is we do the opposite. So we try and, or we actually spend, and then at the end we're like, hey, I need to save. But at the end of it, you're like, hey, there's nothing left to save. So that's why we say pay yourself first. So every time you get some money, save first, then spend later. Because again, things to spend money on in this life, they will never end. Actually, in the factory, they are building things now for you to buy. But
Mike, you agree with me that saving, by the way, you start, but somewhere you end up failing somewhere along the way because it is not in our culture. Sometimes, you leave, you want to go to Westlands, you find there's traffic, you take a detour, you find there's traffic, you come back. So it's an endless journey. Yes.
Now, here's the thing. Yes, because you said it's not something that we are taught when you are growing up, so it's not in us. So what we need to do is we need to make it part of us. Make it a habit. Okay, and again, practice it by paying yourself first every time you get some money. The thing is, it's hard to do that, right? Because we are human beings, and sometimes temptations inakuja kidogo. So what we need to do is we need to automate this process of paying yourself first. And how you can automate it is by, and I might get a bit technical, but I'll explain. Get something called a standing order, right? In your bank. I'm sure NCBA have standing orders.
Yeah, now, certainly.
A standing order is an instruction that you've given to your bank that when money hits this account, direct it here. When money comes on this day, take it here. When my salary hits my account like this on the 30th, take it here. Now, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Where is the first place that your money goes?
When I'm paid my salary?
Yes.
KRA, of course.
KRA, why? Again, that's the government paying itself first. So if the government was actually waiting for you to pay your taxes after you've done your everything, then probably the government would not be, meeting its quota of collecting enough taxes. So what it does is it pays itself first. So before money hits your account, it has already gone to the government. So the same thing you should do with your money, guys. When it hits your account, when you're given money like this, put some aside first and then spend what is left. But again, it's a bit hard. So make it easier by automating it, having a standing order. Just tell your bank when the money comes, take it this way, and then the rest in your chain.
Yeah. Actually, you've mentioned something about standing orders, and of course, standing orders are placed on active running accounts. And at NCBA, to our viewers, we have interesting transaction and saving account solutions for you. So please feel free to talk to us, and we'll be able to open up one for you. Now, other than you've mentioned something to do with standing orders, other than standing orders, if I want to set aside money, because I want to build a saving culture in me, what are some of the tricks that you can share with us today that I can use or to our viewers to adopt, as we go along, to inculcate that culture of savings in us?
Now, here's the thing. when I say pay yourself first and save and invest before spending, what I'm simply saying is you need to separate your money. And when you learn to do this, you as someone who's employed, and especially my guys in business, watu wa biz maze, separate your money. You know, hii pesa ni ya biashara, hii pesa ndio my personal money. So you need to separate your money. And how you can, one of the easiest ways to do that is we advise at Centonomy, have at least 2 bank accounts. A current account, the one that you're talking about, that is a running account, where your money comes in, where your salary hits, where your allowance is coming in. Maybe the one that you linked to maybe how guys pay you in your business. Hiyo ikuwe current. And then what you do is you open a savings account. Okay? Now, the standing order will be on the current account, that when money hits my current account, immediately it hits, I'll get a notification, and then a second later, I get another notification that money has been transferred to your savings account. Yeah. So that's one trick that I advise. Separate your money, guys, by having at least 2 bank accounts. One is a current account where your money comes in, and then the other one is your savings account, where when your money comes in, it is taken to your savings account. Now, the money that is left in your current account, now you will use that to, again, take care of your expenses.
Okay, very clever right there. But you realize that as youth, we try, if I'm not employed, I'll tend to, or probably I'm trying to, I'm in between jobs, I'm trying to run here, do gigs here. If I'm a content creator, or if probably I'm hiring out my equipment, or if I'm an upcoming DJ. Of course, those incomes are usually not consistent. They're quite irregular.
Yes.
How do I push myself to save with such an irregular income that really don't come consistently, just like salary?
On a regular basis. Now, here's the thing, and again, thank you for bringing that up, because again, us being the youth, something called gig economy, you know? Yeah.
Gig economy, what is that?
I don't know if this is a direct translation, but again, just like you said, gigs. But guys, you can correct me hapo kwa chat, yeah? But you know, just like you said, you have, maybe you're an up-and-coming DJ, you don't have bookings every month. So maybe this month you have 5 bookings, the other month you have 20 bookings, you get? So the money coming in is irregular, right? Now, here's the thing. Even though the money coming in is irregular, the money going out is regular. Because at the end of the day, Philip, si lazima utakula.
Ukweli.
You know, you live to eat or you eat to live. You know, but yeah, eating is there. So we will have to eat at some point, regardless of whether you got a gig or not. Right? Regardless of whether you sold your art or not, you have to eat. You have to live somewhere, right? Regardless of whether you got paid or you didn't. Yeah?
If it's an 2-bedroom,
you have to, regardless of where you're living, you have to live somewhere. So that means that our expenses are regular in a bit. But if you find yourself in this situation where you're getting irregular income, what you need to do is, first of all, you remember we said know your expenses, track them down so that you know exactly how much you need every month, right? So when you do that, you know, hey, every month I need 50K to survive. Every month I need 25K to survive. So I know that for sure. But on the other hand, on the income side, the money coming in, it's irregular, right? But probably you've done this for quite a while. So you probably can have some sort of history, like 3 months or 6 months, you've seen how money has been coming in. So you can use that to predict the future, all right? So use that to know, hey, by the way, money will be coming in these bits, but I know money definitely will be going out this, and this, and this. So because you know where money is going out, and that is where guys really need to pay attention to, is the money going out. Then when money hits, maybe this month you're, I don't want to say lucky, but yes, you're prepared enough and you have 20 gigs. You know, it is that month, end of year parties, you have many bookings. Now you know this month money will come in.
But you know, if you have many bookings, it means you have there's value.
Yeah, definitely. You
like
remember
what you
the
said,
conversation we started? Value. So if you have many bookings this month, and you're like, hey, and then hey, January pale, hey, kidogo itakuwa tricky. So what you do is you spread this money that you've gotten, and you know, I can't blow all this money in December. Why? Because January might be a bit trickier, and Feb before things start catching up. Yes. So jipange na yo. Just plan with that, with history, and then you knowing your expenses, and you'll be good to go.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. So in short, what you're saying is save. There's your income, whether from side hustle or from whichever source.
Now, here's the thing. Money coming in, bora it is legal. Yes, that is the income. Now,
legal with a 10 attached to
no,
it,
no,
or
no,
just
no,
legal?
so long as it's legal, yeah, you're making money in a legal way, good enough. Whichever way you're making it. Hata kama ni allowance unapewa, pocket money, that's still money coming in.
Yes.
Salary, business, gigs, that's still money coming in. So know that, and then most importantly, know where it is going out.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for those insightful remarks, Michael. Time now for a quick break. After the break, we'll be exploring the difference between savings and investments. And feel free to shoot your questions. For those who are on Facebook, use the comment section to send in your questions. For those you on YouTube, use the chat box to equally send in your questions. And please don't go far. We'll be right back.
Candace, what's that?
I brought you a small bonus.
Bonus for what?
Daddy said you helped us get a house, a car, and Mommy's business.
But I only helped them get the loans.
You did more than that. You got us 299 family dinners, 64 kisses on the cheek, 12 road trips to see Grandma, 42 jokes from Daddy, 49 laughs from Mommy.
In over 60 years of dealing with numbers, we've learned that the numbers that matter the most to you are the ones that matter the most to us. NCBA Bank. Go for it.
Welcome back, viewers, to NCBA Money Mastery Series, powered by the bank that says go for it. I've been speaking to Michael Thotho, Programs and Content Manager at Centonomy, in case you're joining us. Mike, let's jump into it. Right before the break, we were talking about income. You have your side hustle. Yes. You're receiving money from your parents or your folks. And, of course, you're trying to push an element of saving into it. You're trying to tell us that we be intentional with savings. Yes. You only live once.
Again, we live every day.
So now that we've talked about income, we've talked about savings, perhaps maybe if you could just differentiate for us, to our audience, and to me in particular, because I'm very interested, what is the difference between savings and investments?
All right, great. Now, before we jump into investments, because again, many people always want to talk about investments, but again, let's start with the basics, just like we've done. We've talked about money, what money is, value, separate your money. You see, basics, know your income, know your expenses, basics. Something else that guys need to know and understand and take this very seriously is we need to save for what you call emergencies. And we do that by having an emergency fund. And an emergency fund should be at least 6 months of your expenses. You remember I said, you need 25K to survive. You need 50K to survive. Multiply that by 6 and have it somewhere separate. Just in case an emergency comes, and we all know what an emergency is. Yes, something that is unfortunate, that happens without you foreseeing it. Good example, last year but one, COVID, emergency. Unfortunately, if you are not jipangad, if you're not planned well, if you didn't have an emergency fund, unfortunately, guys lost jobs. Business was not so good. So, again, at that point, it was an emergency and your emergency fund comes through for you, right? Now, here's the thing. We've talked about savings. So when you're saving, first of all, save for that emergency fund. And then the thing is, saving for the sake of saving is boring. So save with a goal, with an intention, right? So that you know exactly how much you're going to be saving and for how long.
Actually, when you talking about save for a goal, so it's okay for me to save to treat my girlfriend.
Definitely. Hey, Valentine's is Valentine's is coming February. So this is the best time to start saving for it. Actually, start looking for those deals now. It will be cheaper, but anyway, conversation for another day. Yes. Sure. So again, your goal is to take your girlfriend on a trip, on a vacation for Valentine's. Sure. Start saving for it. Okay. Why? Because you know the goal and then you know the timeline. I know by 13th Feb I need to have this amount. So I have this long to do so. So how much do I need to put aside every day, every week for that, right? So again, attach a goal to your savings so that it doesn't become boring. Again, this goal can be anything. Again, Valentine's, we talked about that. Technology is, is a big thing for us young guys. So save for that iPhone 15 that's coming out next year.
So it's not iPhone 12?
iPhone 12 was 2 years ago, my guy. So yeah, you see, save for all these things,
yes.
right? Save for your first car, guys. And I know, you are like, how I want to drive my car.
But then in the process of saving,
for it.
In the process of saving, ideally, if you talk to NCBA, we have solutions geared towards helping you acquire that first car.
And now the thing is, if you have savings at NCBA, it will be easier for you to access those solutions. True or false?
Very true.
Yes.
Very true.
So
very
savings
true.
really
very
come
true.
in handy.
Yeah.
Yes. So before going to investments, save for a goal, save for emergencies, and then now we can jump into investments. Okay. Again, we start with the basics. Now, investment. The difference between saving and investment is when you're saving. Again, we're saving for a goal. So it's this money that you're putting aside to achieve something. But when investing, again, invest with a goal in mind. But the thing about investing is when you're saving money, especially in a savings account, the potential for that money to grow is not that high, right? Because also the risk of you losing that money is also very low. So savings, we call it capital preservation. So capital preservation is, you remember I told you, as finance guys, not creative. So capital preservation is exactly that. So capital is the money that you need to start to do something, to start a business, again, to what you're putting down. So capital preservation is that saving. So that element of capital preservation, there is a low risk and low return, right? But now when you talk about investments, this is where you have something called, an element called growth. Okay. And now growth is where we have high risk and high potential of return. Now the thing about investments is, guys, there is no investment that guarantees you a return. If you hear someone guaranteeing you a return, hey, think twice about it, and we'll talk about that later. So here's the thing about investments: high risk, high potential or probability of return. So the return is not always guaranteed. So that's why we cannot be risking our food money. That's why we can't be risking our rent money. You get? Yeah. So again, you have to assign you remember we said separate your money. So there's no way you're going to risk your rent money. Yeah, because there's that thing called probability of return. So you can put 1,000 today and tomorrow it is 2,000. Again, you can put 1,000 today, tomorrow it is 500. And so you don't want to risk money that you cannot want to lose, like rent, like food money. Yeah. So that one, preserve it. But money that you're willing to risk, now put this money where it can grow, and this is why we're talking about investments.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the difference between saving and investment.
So now that we've already pushed the bit about investments. So as a young person, what are some of from your own experience maybe, what are some of the investment options that are there that I would consider safe?
Okay.
Where I would put my money and I'm guaranteed I'll get my money back.
Here's the thing about investment, and I said we'll talk about this, and here we are talking about it. When you're talking about investing, I said, is where your money has the potential to grow. Now, with that potential, there's what we're calling risk. So one of the things that you can use to hedge this risk is make sure your investment is regulated. Okay, so wherever you're putting your money, Philip, always make sure there is someone who's guarding it in some way. All right, make sure it is regulated. Like banks, NCBA is regulated by CBK, Central Bank of Kenya.
Exactly.
Right. Think about a money market fund is regulated by Capital Markets Authority. Right? So there's a regulatory authority behind it. So whenever you're thinking about an investment, always know and always do your due diligence. Is this investment regulated? Right? If you're talking about shares, again, it's regulated by the NSE. You get, there is some form of regulation. Right?
Or even capital market authority.
Capital market authority, you get. So there is that element of regulation. So that will, again, hedge your risk.
I think having talked about the concepts and all that, allow me just to take a few questions from our viewers. I have Marvin from YouTube. Marvin is asking, I've unfortunately been unable to find a job since COVID. Any advice on how I can leverage on my skills to make money in today's economy?
Now, Marvin, what do you do? What are your skills, right? We would start there. And how can you make now these skills? Again, you remember, Marvin, if you were with us from the beginning, we talked about value. So these skills, first of all, they need to be valuable. And value being a very good important factor is now you need to know where is this value valued? You know, who values this value? Again, marketplace, okay? Who can I talk to, you know, in my networks that knows what I am capable of doing that can help or facilitate my growth? You know, am I doing something to put myself out there to show my skills? That's one way of growing your value. Yes, by people knowing what you do. So you could be skilled at something, but if I don't know, then I will not pay for it. So you need to, Marvin, put yourself out there, but again, put your value where it is valued, so that yeah, and you'll be good.
Okay. So I have a question here from Robbie, also from YouTube. Please outline the financial products specifically for young people. What are some of the financial products that young people can actually opt for?
All right, so we talked about accounts. So bank accounts is one. And remember, we talked about a savings account, we talked about a current account. Now, we've talked about that extensively. We've also touched about investments. Now, one of the ways that I think we should actually begin investing as young guys is something we call unit trusts, but specifically a money market fund.
Now, I may have a viewer out there who doesn't know what a unit trust is, so probably just break it down, you know.
Good question. Now, we are Kenyans, and we have some peculiar habits. We have a couple of friends that we know. We have this group. In short, we have chamas.
Chamas.
You get? So a unit trust is a sophisticated chama. Phil, let me ask you, what's a chama?
A chama is just 2 or 3 people.
Yes, 2 or 3 people. Yes, with the same goal, wanting to achieve the same thing. Exactly. So they are together, right?
So you bring your 10K, I bring
you bring
my
your 10K,
5K.
you bring your 5K. Yes, so that we buy this piece of land, so that we start this biz, you know, so that we buy this camera, all of us, right? Because again, the thing about chamas is it makes us do things that we can't do on our own, right? Exactly the same with a unit trust. So it's a sophisticated chama. Just that, I won't know it's Phillip. I won't know it's Mike. I won't know it's Gidaka. You get? So we are many of us. We don't know each other, but we have the same goal. Okay? So we will channel our money here with a fund manager, NCBA, you know, and then we will just put our money here, and then we'll get returns. Yeah, so that's what we call a unit trust. Okay? But now there are several unit trusts, but for the youth, for you guys watching, I encourage you to open a money market fund account, and we'll start your investment journey there. Now, remember we talked about savings and investment. I talked about return. The thing about savings is low returns. So you will find that your bank account will give you 3, 4, 5% if you're lucky, right? But your money market fund will give you 8 to 9 to 10%. You get? Again, your money is growing. So that's the difference between saving and investment. And we've seen bank account, savings account, money market fund. It has higher potential to grow. So that's the difference between saving and investment, and how to start, where to start money market fund.
Okay. Robbie, I hope your question has been answered successfully. Stephen, from, I think Facebook, if I'm not wrong, and I remember we were having this chat, what percentage of savings should I set aside? The general rule of thumb is always 10% of what I get, or what's your advice? You know?
If you are 10% if you're religious, yes, should go to, you know, as the good book says. Yes. But one of the misconceptions in finance is that issue of percentages. But us as Centonomy, we do not advocate for saving with a percentage. Okay, one of the percentages that is widely spoken about is the 50-30-20 rule. Now, here's the thing. If we apply that rule to everyone, you see, we are not all the same. You don't earn the same as I am.
Sure.
As I earn. You also don't have the same goals. You know, you don't live the same. You know, we might be the same age, in the same job, earning the same amount, but we have different goals. So we cannot all have 50-20-30. All right? Now, the thing is, you remember we said save for a goal. Now, this goal is the one that will tell you how much you need to put aside. Okay, if you are saving for Valentine's, which is 2 months down the line or 3 months, and you need 100K, then you know exactly how much you need to save.
Yeah,
you know, so now that will now direct you.
So
on
you
what
like
to
take
save.
the months, you divide.
Yes, you
by
divide
that.
and see. So I need to put aside
X amount
every day, every week, every month for that. So percentages not the best way to go.
Okay.
Yeah, but goals will let you know how much I need to save. Again, and the thing about goals is if you've achieved that goal of Valentine's, umemaliza paka saa the other year. So now you don't need to. So now you go to another goal, which might be a bit smaller, a bit yet not as much.
Okay.
So now you probably adjust, or it could be even more. Now after Valentine's, I need now to plan for December. I need to take my girlfriend to Lamu or something. You get? So now now so I need to increase or I need to decrease because I have more time. But yeah, it's also now that will help you to know exactly how much to save.
But the key thing is not to save for luxury. Money that you're going to, of course, going on a holiday.
I think we should save for it.
Okay.
Yeah, because so that it doesn't come as a surprise.
Okay.
And then so that again, you remember we said saving for the sake of saving is boring. So imagine if you know that you're saving to go to Lamu. You get?
You'll get the urge, you'll have the drive.
Let me save, Mazi. I need to save. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that. Ivy is asking, I often hear that it's great to start saving early to take advantage of compounding interest.
Yes.
How can I begin to position myself to early retirement while I'm still young with little that I have?
Good question, Ivy. The thing is, there is nothing like little money. The money that you're earning, yes, you can start with that. Many guys want to start earning X amount so that I can start saving. It doesn't work that way. Whichever you're getting, start with that. Be able to put aside something from that. And that, just like we said, will build the discipline and it will be easier for you even when you get more, right? Now, there's nothing like small money. Again, Ivy has a goal of retirement, okay? One of the big issues we have in retirement, first of all, with the youth, we don't think about it. But when we get there, we'll be like, wow, okay, I wish I knew. So for us not to be there, old guys, and saying, I wish I knew, we can take advantage of now. And one thing about the youth is we have the advantage of time, all right? Now, with that advantage of time, you can start saving now. And here's the thing about saving, you see, when you start saving for your retirement now, you'll be saving a bit less. When you start thinking about saving for retirement when you're 50, then you need to put aside more.
Yeah,
but when you're 50 again, see, your responsibilities are more.
Yeah, true.
Yes, so guys, start now. And again, Ivy talked about compound interest. Compound interest is one of the most magical things in this world. And it simply means that wherever you're putting your money, you remember I said capital preservation. Whenever you're putting your capital, that will be termed as principal, right? Now, if you put your principal, your capital somewhere, you will be earning interest on that principal and then also on the interest that principal is getting. So you'll be earning on the principal plus the interest. So compound interest is interest on interest.
So you're discouraging me that if Ivy today had 100,000 to put aside, instead of getting interest out of it every month,
put it that interest, plow it back so that it compounds.
Okay.
And we've talked about money markets. You asked money, a good avenue for young guys is a money market fund. Why? Because it's relatively cheaper to get into and it compounds your money. So you're earning interest on interest. Yes.
Yeah, actually, money market fund allows you to save as low as 5,000 Kenya shillings. So again, talk to us. Now,
the thing is, you see, as low as 5,000, but that could be the minimum entry. But when you enter, you'll even know, maybe if minimum is 5,000, but now I can be topping up 1,000.
Yeah, every month. Yeah, I keep increasing as I go along.
Keep increasing, yes. But money market fund, compound interest, good for you.
And actually, when you're talking about, Ivy has talked about saving for early retirement beyond money market. I want to believe there are institutions out there, including NCBA Capital, that offers individual pension plans where you can actually start saving for your pension as early as now.
Yes.
Not to wait for
And thank you for bringing that up. Guys, if you're lucky enough to get employment, start putting money aside in a pension. If your employer has a pension fund, start putting money aside there. You'll start saving for retirement early, and then a trick that I'm letting you guys know, it will actually save on the pay as you earn tax. Yes.
Okay, thank you. I have 2 more questions. I have Mercy. Mercy is asking, so many saving schemes available today. How do I ensure that I'm not defrauded of my hard-earned money?
Remember, regulation. Yeah. So because we have taken so much time to add value to ourselves, to educate ourselves, to get the skills, the qualifications, the experience, we need to know where our money is going. It needs to be regulated. Yes. Okay. So that you don't lose your money, just make sure it's regulated. Do as much research as possible. Ask as many questions as possible, and you'll be good.
Okay.
And before I forget, don't just ask anyone. Ask professionals. Come to us, Centonomy, and we will tell you this will do this. This will do this for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
One last question: how do I deal with peer pressure when it comes to money decisions?
Peer pressure.
This is from Kimberly.
Kimberly, now. Peer pressure, especially in our generation, is just equal to up or to, your neighbor, your friends on social media. You actually know the lives that you're living. Unajua, ukiamka asubuhi, first thing you're checking is social media. So what we need to do is, again, have goals, guys. Have goals. So if that is not your goal, wachana nayo. Okay? But if you really need it, if you really need it or want it, save for it. Don't break your back and your bank just to please someone online, right? Again, I'm not saying it's don't do it, but do it with a plan. Save for it. Don't let someone influence you to do something that will actually not be meaningful in the long run.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Michael. You've been such a great guest today. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been speaking to Michael Thotho, Program and Content Manager at Centonomy. That's the time we had for you today. My name is Phillip Omondi. Please feel free to follow us, like our page, like our YouTube page, subscribe to get more of this content in the coming up in future. Till next time, when we'll be ready to bring you another set of series that, of course, shows you what numbers matter to you. We look forward to hosting you again. I've been your host once again, Phillip Omondi. Thank you, goodbye, and take care.